It is repeatedly ranked as the #1 diet in the world. But how exactly does it benefit you as you age? This is the complete guide to adapting the Mediterranean lifestyle for senior health. Here's what I want you to know before we start. This isn't about giving up the foods you love or counting every calorie. It's about a handful of simple changes that the research keeps tying to a stronger heart, a sharper memory, and more good years ahead. So stay with me. By the end of this, you'll understand exactly why it works after 60, and you'll have 3 easy swaps you can make at your very next meal. No special stores, no expensive supplements. Let's get into it. First, let's clear something up. When people hear the Mediterranean diet, they picture a strict meal plan. It isn't one. It's simply the way people have eaten for generations along the coasts of Greece, Italy, and Spain, and the pattern is beautifully simple. Lots of vegetables, fruit, beans, and whole grains. Olive oil instead of butter. Fish more often than red meat. A handful of nuts. Herbs instead of heavy salt. And meals shared slowly, at a table, with people you care about. That's it. No gimmicks. Which is exactly why, year after year, it's been named the best overall diet by U.S. News and World Report, judged by a panel of doctors and nutrition scientists. But here's the part that matters for you. The Mediterranean way of eating doesn't just help you live longer. It seems to help you stay independent longer. And after 60, that's the whole game. Staying strong on your feet, keeping your mind clear, doing your own shopping, your own cooking, your own living. So the real question isn't whether this diet is good. We already know it is. The question is, how do you adapt it for your body at your stage of life? That's what the rest of this is about. Now, I want to be straight with you. I'm not a doctor, and nothing here replaces a conversation with yours, especially if you take medication or manage a condition. Think of me as the friend who reads the studies so you don't have to, and brings the useful parts back to your kitchen table. Deal? Good. Let's talk about your heart. Let's start where it counts most. As we age, our blood vessels naturally get a little stiffer, and circulation slows down. That's the quiet root of a lot of what we feel after 60. Cold hands, tired legs, low energy. This is where heart-healthy foods earn their name. One of the largest studies ever done on this way of eating, a Spanish trial called PREDIMED, followed thousands of older adults for years. The group that simply added more extra virgin olive oil and nuts to their meals had noticeably fewer serious heart problems than the group that didn't. Think about how small that change is. Not a drug, not a punishing routine. More olive oil. A handful of walnuts. That's the kind of swap your heart quietly thanks you for. And there's a deeper reason it works. Dr. William Li, a vascular biologist and the author of Eat to Beat Disease, has spent his career studying how everyday foods affect our blood vessels. His core idea is simple but powerful. The right foods can actually help your body protect and feed its own circulation. olive oil, leafy greens, tomatoes, berries. These aren't just healthy, they're working for your blood flow with every meal. So here's swap 1. Trade butter or vegetable oil for extra virgin olive oil. That alone moves you toward the Mediterranean pattern today. Now let's talk about the things so many of us worry about most as we age: our memory. There's a version of this diet built specifically for the brain. Researchers at Rush University combined the Mediterranean pattern with a heart-focused approach and called it the Mind Diet. In their long-term studies, older adults who followed it most closely showed slower decline in memory and thinking than those who didn't. The brain foods for memory at the center of it are humble and cheap. Leafy green vegetables, spinach, kale, collards, near the top of the list. Berries, especially blueberries. Nuts, beans, and fatty fish like salmon or sardines, rich in the omega-3 fats your brain is largely built from. You don't need all of it at once. The research suggests it's the consistency that matters, a little often. A handful of berries with breakfast. Greens at dinner a few nights a week. Fish twice a week instead of once. Small, repeated, ordinary. That's how the brain benefit seems to build. So here's swap 2. Berries or leafy greens at 1 meal a day. Your memory may be quietly grateful. Here's something the standard Mediterranean advice often skips, and it's the most important part for us. After 60, your body has one need that a 30-year-old's doesn't. Let me show you what it is, because if you miss this, even a perfect diet can leave you weaker. Stay with me. Here's the truth that doesn't get said enough. Starting around 60, we naturally lose muscle each year if we don't actively protect it. Doctors call it sarcopenia. In plain terms, it's why opening a jar gets harder, why stairs feel steeper, why a fall becomes more dangerous. And muscle is built from one thing above all: protein. So the classic Mediterranean diet needs one gentle adjustment for older adults: a little more protein spread across the day. The good news is the Mediterranean pantry is full of it. Fish, eggs, Greek yogurt, beans and lentils, a sprinkle of nuts. You don't need protein powders or anything fancy. You just need to make sure some protein shows up at breakfast and lunch, not only at dinner. That spacing helps your body actually use it to hold on to muscle. So here's swap 3. Add a protein to breakfast: an egg, a scoop of Greek yogurt, a handful of nuts. It's the single most important upgrade you can make to this diet for an older body, and it protects the strength that keeps you independent. There's one more layer, and it ties everything together. The fiber in all those vegetables, beans, and whole grains feeds the healthy bacteria in your gut, which research increasingly links to steadier energy, better digestion, and a calmer immune system. And the olive oil, the fish, the colorful produce, all carry compounds that help quiet the low-grade inflammation that tends to creep up with age. You don't have to memorize any of that. Just remember the picture: a plate that's mostly plants, with good fat, and a solid protein. Get that picture right most of the time, and the rest takes care of itself. Now let's make this real, because a diet only helps if it fits your actual life, your budget, your appetite, your kitchen. First, on cost. You do not need expensive imported anything. Canned sardines and canned salmon are wonderful and cheap. Frozen vegetables are just as nutritious as fresh, and they never spoil. Dried beans and lentils cost almost nothing and last for months. A bottle of olive oil goes a long way. Second, on comfort. If chewing or digestion isn't what it used to be, lean on soups, stews, and slow-cooked dishes. Roast or steam vegetables until they're soft. Blend a vegetable soup. Flake your fish. You get every bit of the benefit in a form that's gentle on you. Third, on appetite. Many of us simply eat less as we get older, so every bite needs to count. That's why the protein at breakfast habit matters so much, and why a drizzle of olive oil is your friend. It adds easy, useful calories when your appetite is small. Let me give you a whole day so you can see how easy it is. For breakfast, Greek yogurt with a handful of blueberries and walnuts. For lunch, a bowl of lentil soup, a slice of whole grain bread with olive oil, and a tomato. For dinner, a piece of salmon or some sardines, a plate of soft cooked greens, and a little brown rice, and a piece of fruit if you'd like something sweet. That's it. That's the Mediterranean diet adapted for an older body. Heart protecting, brain supporting, muscle preserving, and not one strange ingredient in sight. And please, don't try to do all of it tomorrow. That's how people quit. Pick one swap from today: the olive oil, the berries, or the breakfast protein. Do just that one for a week until it feels normal. Then add the next. Small steps repeated are what actually last. That's the whole secret. So let's bring it home. The Mediterranean diet is ranked #1 in the world for a reason. But for those of us over 60, it's not really about the ranking. It's about what it gives back. A heart that keeps good time. A mind that stays clear. The strength to keep living on your own terms. And you don't earn that with willpower or a perfect week. You earn it with small, kind choices made most days at your own table. Better olive oil, a few more greens and berries, a little protein in the morning. That's a life-changing diet, hiding inside 3 simple habits. If this helped you, subscribe and stay with us, because everything we do here is about keeping you strong, sharp, and independent for as many good years as possible. I'll see you in the next one. Take good care of yourself.